Hello, sixth graders. Congratulations, you've made it to your last week of distance learning. Been such a strange year, but we're almost at the end. Okay, so we're going to use some of the skills we learned last week on finding interquartile range today to interpret box and whisker plots. So our objective for today is to interpret box and whisker plots. Alright, so let's show you what a box and whisker plot is. Okay, you have a set of data. This might look familiar. It's similar to the kinds of data sets you started with when you were finding interquartile range. And we're going to start by finding the interquartile range. Remember, step one is to find the median. So we're going to put these in order first. 2, 4, 5, 7, and 11. So we have them in order, and we know that our median is 5. Okay? Now we want to find the Q1, also known as the lower quartile. So the median of these two numbers, which of course is 3. The Q3, the upper quartile, is between 7 and 11. We could add those up. 7 plus 11 is 18, divided by 2 is 9, if you didn't know that 9 was right in between there. Okay? So there's some vocabulary words that you need to know. You probably already know that that is called the median. This is the first quartile, also known as Q1. On IXL, they call it the lower quartile. This here is Q3, also called the upper quartile. So first quartile, third quartile. Any guesses where the second quartile is? You got it, right between the two. The median is also the second quartile. Okay? This is the greatest value. Of all these values, that was the greatest one. And these mathematicians, you know how creative they are. They come up with a really unique name for that. They call it the maximum value. Okay? Well, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 other values, and this one right here is the lowest value. Mathematicians, of course, they call that the minimum value. Okay. You can use these 5 numbers to make a box and whisker plot. Okay? So here we go with our box and whisker plot. We know that we've got to go from 2 to 11. So I'm going to put 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. All right, when you make your box and whisker plot, you go ahead and you put points for these 5 numbers above the number line. Not on the number line, you put them above the number line. So 2 is your minimum value. You put a dot on 2. The first quartile is 3, so you put a dot on 3. The median is 5, so you put a dot there. The upper quartile is 9. And the maximum value is 11. So we have our dots. This right here is the median. They usually put a symbol like that right there on the median. Then they make a box from the first quartile to the third quartile. So there's your box. We also need whiskers. Can you guess where the whiskers are going to be? 1 there, 1 there. We've just made a box and whisker plot. It is that easy. Okay? Now, there's a couple things you should know about the box and whisker plot. Inside this box here is 50% of the data. Half the data will be inside that box. Okay? So there's 25% here, and there's 25% here, or 1/4, just thus quartiles. The upper range should also have 1/4 of the data, and the lower range also have 1/4 of the data. Okay, So if they were to ask you what percent of the data is inside the box, you'd say 50%. If they said what percent of the data is between 5 and 9, you'd say 25%. If they said what percent of the data is 5 or less, you'd say 50%. The couple questions on IXL today will be what is the interquartile range? But we did a whole IXL, a whole lesson on that last week. And the interquartile range is just the upper quartile minus the lower quartile. 9 minus 3, in this case it would be 6. They might ask you what is the range of the data. Well, that's just like we learned way back in 5th grade. The highest data point is 11. The smallest is 2. The range of the data is just 11 minus 2, which would be 9. Right? So if you know all of these vocabulary words and you can make this box and whisker plot, that is way more than you need to do today, because you won't actually need to make any box and whisker plots. They're going to give you the box and whisker plots and then just ask you some questions about it. You may even see a double box and whisker plot where, this represents like one team, this represents another team, and they might ask you like, which one has the greatest median value? And you know that it's this team right here. Which one has the lowest minimum value? Well, this one is lower than that one. So they'll be able to ask you questions like that. All right, I think you got it. Good luck, and see you tomorrow.